it's Lindsay from the vlog Books for Christian Girls, and another month has passed, so it's time to do a monthly wrap-up. Again, these aren't necessarily books I read in March, though the majority of them are. They're just books I reviewed on my blog in March. So let's get started. Last Friday of the month means there's a new Mandy review, and this was Mandy book number 24, Mandy and the Invisible Troublemaker by Lois Gladys Leopard. This wasn't necessarily my very favorite, but it was one I really enjoyed. I gave it 3.5 stars. I mean, I felt bad for Mandy because Invisible Troublemaker picking on her, but I did really love seeing almost the entire Mandy gang in this one, so that was really great. And then a book that was on my anticipated reads for the first half of 2017, Light Up New York by Natalie Grant. This is book 4 in the Glimmer Girls series. Such a precious series. This was such a cute one and carried on so well from the 3rd book. Honestly, I think this might be the last one, and I really hope it's not because I really would love seeing more of these girls. They're so cute, and honestly, they'd be so much fun to babysit. And it got 3.5 stars for me. Also reviewed was Lost in Las Vegas by Melody Carlson. This is book 5 in the Carter House Girls series. I mean, the series is more for those who really like the whole teen issues kind of plots. And this one wasn't necessarily my favorite. I gave it 3 stars. There's a lot of drinking in this one, but the ending was really good. Which, speaking of endings, Courageous Love by Susan K. Marlowe. Okay, wasn't expecting that ending. Oh my goodness. This is the final book, book number 4 of the Circle C Milestone series. This is a spin-off off of the series of when Andy was younger. I didn't ever read those, so I've been reading some of them as I've been reading these Milestone series, and that's been kind of neat. I'm like, oh my goodness, so that's that backstory, and you know, that kind of stuff. I gave this one 3.5 stars. There were some comments I think that could have been left out, but the ending will really make fans of the original series and who grew up on it really happy. I was happy, and I mean, I didn't even know the very beginning of it, so. Remember last month's video how I mentioned I was worried about March with the 1 stars? Well, I read 2 1-star books this year. I know, bam, bam, that happened. One of them won't be reviewed anytime soon. The other one I reviewed was A Daring Sacrifice by Jody Hudlin. Way too much kissing, way too much torture method details, and I mean, the full review is on my blog, on my Goodreads. Y'all can check that out if you've ever considered the series. No, On a more happier note, Katie's Decision by Kim Volk-Sawyer. I gave this one 4 stars. This was the last book in this series too. I reviewed a few of the last books of a series, so that's, didn't realize that until now. But this is book 4 and the final book in this series. This book made the series for me. I was enjoying the series, but this one really took the cake. I loved it. It was very humorous and witty, and I'm happy to say that my ship won. So that's just a bonus. I also reviewed book number 3 in the Kaufman Amish Bakery series by Amy Clipston, A Place of Peace. This one wasn't necessarily my favorite one, but I did really enjoy this one, and I loved seeing the characters from the previous books. And this one, I'm like, I know them! Oh my goodness! But I'm also really excited to finish up this series because the author has a novella collection coming out about these characters in January of next year, which feels so far away. No kidding, y'all. But I know it'll be here soon, and it'll give me time to finally read the other 2 books. Oh, and I gave this one 4 stars. I forgot to mention that. Another 4-star read was The Elusive Miss Ellison by Carolyn Miller. This is a debut author, and oh my goodness, I was laughing and just smirking. I was pretty impressed. There was tons of spiritual content in this one. I loved all the faith content. This one I had some pretty high hopes for because Carrie Terancy gave a blurb for this book. Y'all, have you seen me fangirl about her books in my past videos? I'm just asking, have you? Because She's one of my favorite historical authors, and that she recommended this one. I'm like, oh, hang on now. So I had to check it out, and I was so excited I did. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. I also reviewed A Note Yet Unsung by Tamara Alexander. I gave this one 2 stars. It had some really neat orchestra parts, and I love orchestra music. That's like kind of a weakness, and the violin is my favorite instrument. So I mean, I loved those parts, but other content and the sexual flashbacks were just too much, and I don't think the majority of it was needed. So that really affected my ratings, disappointingly. I get more into on the content and my full thoughts in my actual final review, which is up on my blog and on Goodreads, so you can go check that out if you're curious about it. I also reviewed Shades of Truth by Sandra Orchard. This one I gave 3.5 stars. It's the second book in her Undercover Cop series, published by the Love Inspires Suspense. And it's not my favorite. I did enjoy it though. I liked it better than the first book of this series. So yeah. I also reviewed The Senator's Youngest Daughter by Kelly Rose Waller. This one I gave 3 stars, even though it had a 4-star plot for me. I love rebellion plots. I come from a very political family, and this one was a political rebellion plot. I mean, it was great. So, I mean, it had that serious undertone, but it also had the wit and banter that really lightened it up and balanced it out, and I really enjoyed it. But because of the lack of Christian content, I would have really enjoyed less minor cussing. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, y'all, hang on for a second and just appreciate how cute this next cover is. It's so cute, I can't. It's Securing the Handymans Heart by Katie Clark. I gave this one 4 stars. It was so sweet in so many more ways than one. The main characters, Kayla and George, were both so realistic and easy to read about. And I loved seeing all the other characters. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series as they come out because it was so cute, and I have pretty high hopes for the rest of the series. I also reviewed Let Them Eat Cake by Sandra Bird. I gave this one 2 stars. This one is very outdated, y'all. Like, it was written 10 years ago, and it's a contemporary. So, I mean, it kind of felt not like a contemporary, if you know what I mean. It just felt flat, and the main character, she was whiny and kind of bratty at times, and I'm just like, no. So, I'm not going to finish the series, and it just wasn't, no. It wasn't a favorite of mine, to say the least. And we're going to finish off this video with Love, Lace, and Minor Alterations by V. Joy Palmer. I gave this one 4 stars. Now again, I'm going to talk about an author blurb. Janice Thompson. You had to know a video would not go past without me mentioning her, right? But I normally would have said no. The author who blurbs it that doesn't really mean anything to me. It means stuff to me now, y'all, because I have my authors where I know who to watch, and I'm like, hold on, they did what now? So, Janice Thompson gave a blurb for this one, and this was like a Janice Thompson wedding book meets a Aaron Mangum book. 2 of my favorite authors right there, y'all. Like, oh my goodness. So, yes, I really enjoyed this one. Oh my goodness, I was truly impressed. I don't say that lightly at all. And I can't wait to see what this author puts out next, because this one was such a fun read. So yeah, that is what I reviewed in the month of March. Again, I have some great books coming up in April. I'm so excited to read. And I think that's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, where I post a new review every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have a new video on this channel every Thursday, and then I'm on Instagram every other day and then some. Bye, y'all.